All right, Fix It Tony here. Today we're going to go ahead and replace the tire on the Ego. This one is about done. We hit the 500-mile mark, and this one's about all we're going to get out of it. We're upgrading actually to a Kenda. These are only 55 bucks on Amazon, so I'll leave the link. But you can see you got a lot more meat to this tire, and it's rated for street and off-road use. So this should give us a lot more life than that tire did. So we're going to start here. We're going to go ahead and use a jack, and we're just going to use it like the jacket from here and use it like a tripod here and get the weight off this wheel. And then we had to get the wire off, which goes up into the case here. So we're going to remove screw, bolt, another screw in there, bolt, bolt. So we'll get all these off so we can get that harness off. We'll go ahead and unhook it, and then we'll jack it up a little bit, take the wheel off, and then we'll break this one loose. These are tubeless tires, so it's going to be an adventure. We'll see how it goes. All right, so difficulty level very high actually. Not really sure what Ego was thinking when they designed this. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a way to weasel this out of here without taking all this apart, but once you pull out this wire, I don't really see a way to fish it back in there very easily without having this out. And the good thing is all the screws and bolts, there's only two bolts, types of screws, the regular screw and then a 10mm bolt, pretty much for everything. So you don't have to worry about mixing up different lengths of stuff. They use the same stuff, makes it easy. But you're taking out a lot of screws. Screw. A lot of stuff is covered. This is probably one of the dumbest designs I don't understand, is they put two of the screws behind the sticker. So we're gonna have to replace the sticker here if we want it to look the same, because otherwise there's no way to get to that. This is already scratched up, but in any case, a little more difficult than it probably needed to be. And you don't have to pull this all the way out, but just out enough where you can get, because this is actually on the back side here, you probably can't see, one of the harnesses is actually strapped to this, so you can't pull it out all the way without disassembling it even more. So with that said, there's two little clips down in here we can't see here, and here we'll use a removal tool to get those off, because those, we don't want to break them. And then take the two bolts off here, and we'll get this wheel off. So we got the wheel off. Really, it's a lot more involved than you would think. Here's our bracket. When you take it off, it's going to sit here like this. So you got to turn the wheel at an angle to get it past that in order so it's not locked on there. Don't forget, you have the axle setting washers here to have a little set in here and prevent it from moving. We went in here, removed our wire harness holders. One of them broke, of course, always happens. So we'll figure out, probably just zip tie it around, honestly, I don't even care. But you do have to take the bolts off the calipers. Make sure you do not hit your rear brake while you're doing this, because you don't want to have to collapse this caliper after the fact. Pads look good. I'm going to throw some Loctite on these when we put this back together. After all the fighting, we have it off. You can see the assembly comes off, wheel and tire, and then you have your hub. And here's the other axle placement washer. We'll put that also over here so we don't forget about that. And now we'll get the air out of this and start breaking this tire loose. I'm not gonna lie, actually this was pretty easy. Couple simple tire iron levers. You need these to get this off. But they used enough lubricant, they left lubricant on here, that taking this tire off, it came off very easily. So now we'll start working on the next one. So just worry about your orientation. That's the most important part. You have rotation, rotating this way. This is the brake side. So this side of the tire will be on this side of the wheel. We have a little soapy water. We're gonna just put some soapy water here on the edge, and we'll start pushing this on. Hopefully it'll be fairly easy, and let's see in a moment where we're at. All right, so the tire's on. Easiest way to do this, use a good lubricant. I use soap and water, that didn't really work. Use Blaster, that worked a lot better. Just know that it's going to take some force. You absolutely need these. One side will always go in easy, the other side's hard. And the key is to get this to fall into the tube, the inside of the rim. So there's a valley inside this rim, and when you initially get the first side, it just plops on. This side, you got to get at least one part of the lip into that valley and then work your way around. If this is not in the lip, I mean, if it's just sitting against the lip, you're never going to get it on. If you get it in that little valley, it gives you enough play to get it around all the way around. Use plenty of lubricant, and what I like to do is just use my foot to push it down so I push it in as I get one side in and work your way around and keep it in that valley. It'll allow you to go ahead and seat this, and then you can go ahead and pull off and add air, seat the bead, 35 PSI, and we'll start reassembly. All right, so some of the tools you're gonna need for this job, I have a jack or some way of, positioning the bike up, a rag, impacts if you have them, makes life easier, but you can just use hand tools. You need a pair of dikes for clipping off the wire holders, a couple extensions, 10 millimeters, usually a deep one and a shallow one, magnet, some panel pliers, just in case you can't pull, you want to be careful when you pull that piece off. A couple zip ties, good quality ones, UV resistant. As you can see, when we redid this, I did not put the factory ones back on because it just wouldn't stay in the hole. So anyway, that way you won't have to worry about that. Drill, Phillips head, 5 millimeter Allen head, another panel remover, and these remove the inside clips here, but again, they just got trashed, so I just replaced them the way I did. A couple of tire irons, just some regular 12-inch ones are fine. Impact if you have it, but you can also use a 1/2-inch wrench with the 21 millimeter socket. Some multi-use lubricant, and that's for the tires, and some brake cleaner. You want to make sure you clean off the pads and the rotor before you reassemble, just to make sure they're clear. And then a good air compressor or a source of air so you can seat the bead on here, set the tire to 30 to 35 PSI. So we got the bike together, and as you can see, I removed a lot of stuff because I wasn't really sure what I needed to do. As you can see, we had to remove the sticker in order to get these 2 screws off. So I ordered a sticker, Parts Plus in the description here. It's only a $10 sticker, but it's kind of dumb that you have to remove it to get to these screws if you ever had to replace this fender, take this fender off for any reason. There's a lot of screws, but like I said, at least there's only 2 types, a 10 millimeter and a regular standard screw, and then those little sleeves that they sit into. So it's hard not to be able to figure out how to put it back together. I mean, besides the fact that there's a lot of them, just kind of keep track of where they go. Some of these hidden ones in the back and in the front here. In any case, got the tire back together, torqued down the wheel, test drove her, she's in good shape. Again, the tire will be in the description if you're looking for a tire. Now that I did all this, I will tell you, you don't need necessarily to remove all this stuff like I did. I did it because I wasn't sure, but there's only really, honestly, there's a 10 millimeter down in here that I thought had to be removed, but if you go in through the bottom, it's just a wraparound little flexible steel sleeve that goes around that, and you can put your finger in the bottom here and undo that, and then there's another one up here as soon as you remove the seat, and you can unhook the set of there's 3 Phillips head screws in here, and then there's a harness, and then you could weasel its way out of there without having to remove all this stuff. So with that said, I'm glad I took it apart. I kind of wanted to see how it was put together, so it wasn't terrible to put it back together. And if you do want to take it all apart, if you can't get that harness through or get it back, and that's kind of where I put, taking it apart makes it a little bit easier, because trying to fish this thing back through even with it apart was difficult, let alone with it together. So kind of a poor design there. I feel like that they should have made it easier, or at least put a quick connect down here at the bottom so you can get this wheel and tire off pretty easily. I'm actually debating whether to cut this harness here and put a weatherproof quick connect here, so that when I take the wheel off, it'll be a weatherproof deal, but I won't have to take this all apart in order to get the wheel off, when we replace tires. So food for thought. I'm thinking about it, not sure if I'm going to do that or not. Future video, probably going to make a decision on that. So rode this around with the new tire. This is a much higher quality tire. It's a Kenda tire. It's rated for the highway, but it can also do off-road. You have a lot more tread right out of the go here, so I will report back on how that goes. But difficulty of this job, not horribly difficult, but you do need to know what you're doing. If you need help, you put in the comments here. I'll give you some pointers. We have the new sticker coming. We'll put this thing back together with the sticker, and it'll look like brand new again. We did have some more battle damage to this one. Obviously you see that, but we also are waiting for another handle. And again, Parts Plus in the description will have all the parts that you need in case you do break stuff. I'm not sponsored or anything, but these guys, they get the parts to you quickly and they get you the right part. And if there's ever a problem, like when I initially got this front from them, you'll see it from a previous video, it actually had a crack on it, and they shipped a new one out, no questions asked. They just wanted a picture of it and showed them a picture, and it arrived in 2 days. So we're getting over 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much, guys. Keep on subscribing, keep on spreading the word about my videos. I want to bring out more stuff as life goes on here. And we have a trip coming up, outdoor desert trip. We'll take some video from that, a bunch of mini bikes and a bunch of other stuff that we're going to be up to, and our dirt bikes. And I think that'll be interesting for some of y'all. Anyway, like, subscribe, and share. Have a great day.